morning, y'all. It is October 19th, and it is cold out. My phone is saying 32 degrees, but it can't possibly be 32 degrees because nothing froze. Everything's just really cold. I want to say it's probably like 35, 36 degrees. Anyways, the loft was a lot warmer. As soon as I came down out of it, I could tell the difference. So that was nice. It was a good idea to sleep up in that loft. The downside of it was, so right when I was going to sleep, I heard something big moving in the shelter. And then I heard this little squeak, like it's kind of the same sound like mice make. And, but I could tell it wasn't a mouse unless it was the biggest mouse in the world, because you could tell it was like the size of like a small medium dog. And I was like, what in the world is that? So I turned on my headlamp and looked down, but it took me a minute. So when I looked down, I couldn't see nothing. It was gone. And so I was like, man, what is that? So I went down to look, and I looked at the edge of the boards, and sure enough, there was some fresh gnaw. And I thought I heard a little bit of gnawing on the wood. So right away, I'm like, I know what that is. It's a porcupine for sure. And I'm like, man, I am not up for a porcupine chiseling on the shelter all night. So I did a little something to maybe make it deter it from coming. And so I went back up there and went to sleep, and I heard it come up again, and it chiseled for a second and then left. And I was like, awesome. So I went back to sleep, and then at like 3 a.m, I can hear that thing in there squeaking, chewing, and I'm like, oh my God. And so I just put my earplugs in my ears, and that kind of muted out the sound. I went right back to sleep and woke up at like 6:20 this morning. Didn't want to get out of bed because it was cold, but I was like, let me get out. So I got up, and let me see, I think it's 10 till 8 right now. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise, which usually means like it was real red and just orange. That's going to rain today, but it's not. It's supposed to be beautiful today, but it's going to rain tomorrow early in the morning. But the thing is, the next shelter is 13 and a half miles, and that's not enough miles for me. The next shelter is at 30 miles, or like 29 something. And so I'm kind of like, man, that's a little too much to ask for today, just because I do have some elevation today. So there is this camp spot at 21.4 that I'm going to shoot for. And the rain's not supposed to start till like 7, 8-ish. So maybe if I can get up and out before that. But it's going to be cold rain. It's going to be not fun. And I think it's supposed to end, though, around 2. And it's only 50% chance. So there's only a 50% chance I'll get hit by it. So hopefully it won't, but it may. I'll have to deal with it if it does. But I will be hiking into Duncannon on Monday. So if it's just horrible and miserable and cold, I mean, I can always just duck out there. Because I'm not planning on ducking out till Carlisle on Tuesday, when it's supposed to really, really rain on Tuesday. So, yeah, have to play it by ear. The weather is wacky. It changes all the time. So, yeah, so that's my plan today, 21.4, and I don't think there's anything else to talk about this morning. So I'm going to get all my stuff gathered up, get back on the trail, and hike southbound, and I will get back with y'all. All right. So I've hiked 9.7 miles so far, and I think it's 11:45. Shoot, it might be noon. Not doing too bad. That ridge where I camped from that shelter, what was it? The Penn, something Penn shelter. Um, you just hike on this ridge, and it was just really overgrown, super, super rocky with loose rocks, and those rocks that when you hit them, they don't move. And lots and lots of blowdowns with poison ivy all over them. You could tell. So I had to go do a lot of roundabout bushwhacking. Thing is, I'm allergic to poison ivy. I can't even touch it. Even like the dead stuff, if I touch it, man, it's not good. So, and that's another thing. Yesterday, I never mentioned, because of the windy day, there were blowdowns all over the place. Yeah, the Pennsylvania trail maintenance is going to have their hands full with that last windstorm because they are everywhere. And that's exactly why I wanted to sleep in that shelter that night. So, yeah, so then you drop down into Swatara Gap where that bridge is. I went across the bridge and I saw a bunch of cyclers, like people out for the weekend cycling. They were kind of just, doing their own thing. I waved and said hi and didn't get much of a response, but they might think I'm a bum, so who knows. And then after that, it's just kind of been like roller coastery. I remember this section very well. 2016, all the way through Pennsylvania, my knees were killing me. And this part is where my knees started just crapping out on me. And I called my wife and she helped me find a ride to Pine Furnace. I think that's what the town is called. But I had to hike like another 6 miles or something to that Swatara Gap where that bridge is. And that's where I got picked up. And I remember I was just like so miserable for those 6 miles, just like dying. And I think it took me, I don't know, it probably took me like 4.5, 5 hours. So I remember this section very well, and they're not very good memories. But today I'm feeling great. It's a little chilly out, but the sun's definitely shining. And I've seen a few backpackers out. Everyone seemed really friendly. And what else? I think that's it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna stop here for a little bit, eat some food, take a little break, and then I'm gonna keep on hiking southbound. I have probably, let me see, if it's 9, I probably have like 10.9, 10.8 left to that spot I want to get to. So hopefully I can still get there. Never know with the terrain what it's going to be like, but there's places to ditch out before that and even after that if I do make the miles, but I doubt it. I think if I make it there, it'll be like time to quit for sure. So anyways, I'm going to get something in my stomach and I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all. So it is 2:45 right now and I have 7 miles to hike to that campsite that I wanted to hike at. That was at 21.4 miles for the day. So earlier I went through, there was this area and it's called Beaver Bog. And so I was going through it, and I mean, it was just flooded, and you had to like carefully walk over there were all these like kind of sticks and just kind of like you could tell people laid them out for you to walk on, but everything else, like if you fell off any of it, you would be sinking knee deep. I mean, it was just mushy, marshy horribleness. And I think it was 1.2 miles, and it took me almost an hour just to go through it. I was gonna videotape it, but it was so disgusting. So I'm like almost through it, and I step down on this branch and it snaps. And so I push off with my other leg and tweaked my left knee like big time. And man, I've hiked about like 2.5 miles since then. And man, my knee is just throbbing. I am like bummed out about it. I was just hoping it was just a little, twist that would just get worked out. But man, it just keeps bugging me and bugging me worse. And so I've kind of just been not hobbling, but man, my pace went way down. I was doing so good this morning too. So there's this campsite that's 3.6 from here. I think that'll make 18 miles. It's called Yellow Spring Campsite. So I think I'm just going to try to go there because I don't think I'm going to be able to make the 7. And plus, I just don't want to walk on my knee that long if it keeps continuing to hurt. I really should like reach into my bag and grab my knee brace, but it's all the way at the bottom. I just don't feel like dealing with it right now. So I'm just going to pace myself and, be real deliberate with that leg and try to go to that campsite. There's a spring like right before it where I'm going to get water and carry it to it. So, but the spring is like, it's a half drop, but it's been raining and everything's running pretty good. So I'm just hoping there's water there. And the campsite's supposed to be haunted, which is a crazy story. And I'll explain it more when I get to camp. If I make it there, I'm sure I will, but yeah, I'm just bummed out, man. I was just rushing all day, rushing, trying to get those 20 plus miles in. And all you're doing all day is you're just pushing yourself. And I talked to this day hiker, and she was like, "Oh, you need to go see the general. There's some site it's a ways off the trail." And I told her, I was like, "I can't. I have a deadline." I go, "It's all about miles right now," and it is all about miles right now. This guy I was hiking with off and on named Forecaster. I just saw his IG today. And he got off trail. He was at 1,100 miles. And he just said, it just stopped being fun. It just became a numbers game. And it's just about pushing yourself every day, seeing how many miles you can do. And that's where we're at right now with this through hike. And that's the thing. Eventually you got to eat that miles plate. You can keep pushing it to the side, but eventually, if you're through hiking the AT, you got to eat that plate and you got to push yourself and do miles, man. And stuff like this happens when you do that. You tweak your knee, just one little miscalculation and injury. I'm just hoping it's just a little thing. When I sleep, it'll go away. Man, I'm hoping so much. But we'll see. But for now, I'm just going to get back on trail and try to make it to that camp spot. And I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all, so this is it. Yellow Springs old coal mining village ruins. I guess this was a coal mining village, and now it is a campsite. And there is a legend about this place, and it has to do, supposedly this camp spot's haunted, and Yes, and this is my second haunted camp spot I'm staying at. So when I read the gut hooks comment about that, it kind of was like, I kind of was like, didn't really feel bad about stopping a little early. Let me see. Uh, so I'm like 2.4 miles shy of where I wanted to go. Not a big deal. I'll take it. My knee, man, it just is not feeling that great, and it's like 4:15 right now. It's a good time for me to stop. Um, so I had to collect water from this little stream, and it took me like 20 minutes to collect all the water and filter it. But sometimes that's what you gotta do out here, you know. But anyways, this it's a pretty cool camp spot. The truth is though, there's not a lot of super flat spots. And I'm one of those people, I'm super picky about my flat spots. But I found one over in that grass right there that's supposedly pretty flat. And supposedly also there's an aggressive deer here that comes through and snorts. I've camped in places with those deers, those bucks, and they'll come in and snort, and they will, man. They'll raise hell all night. So, kind of interested in that too. But I'm gonna go ahead and set up my camp, and um, when I get back with you, I'll tell you about the legend of why this place is haunted. So, I'll get back with y'all. All right. All right, y'all. This is my home for the night. Yellow Springs Camping. Then this is the old coal mining village ruins. Hey y'all. So do y'all like ghost stories? I know I do. I love ghost stories. So supposedly this campsite is haunted. So I'm going to tell you the story. You can look at it's in Gut Hooks, the comment, and then this day hiker I was talking to, I was telling him I was coming here, and he told me pretty much the same story. So maybe it must be true, kind of. So what happened? It was during the French and Indian War, and this militia came across the indigenous people around here. It was a tribe, like, I'm not even going to try to say it. It starts with an S. They came across them, and they slaughtered this whole family. And the one of the sons, he was a brave, came home, found his family slaughtered, and tracked the militia guys all the way back to this site right here. Supposedly they were camped right here, and he snuck in and slit all their throats, killed them. I think killed one with a tomahawk, and I think he killed like 9 of them. And the 10th one woke up, and I may be wrong with the numbers, but it's up there. It's like 8 or something. And the last guy woke up and then got knocked unconscious, and the brave was about to scalp him, and then the guy came to and shot the brave, and then he lived to tell the story of what happened. So a bunch of dudes just got like slaughtered here a long time ago. I think it was like, I mean, I don't know, when was the French and Indian War? I'm not a historian, really. I mean, I'm into that stuff, but like dates and stuff, I don't even try to remember them, because like I said, numbers just get switched around in my head, unfortunately for me. But yeah, nothing suspicious yet. No, I don't know, I don't feel any weird vibes, but this whole area is just kind of weird. It's pretty, but it all looks the same. It's like, well, what was that? Oh, chipmunks are crazy around here. It's all like that mountain laurel, I guess it is, or is it rhododendron? I never can tell. I think the mountain laurel's the thinner ones, right? And just some hardwood trees, and I don't know, the path just looked the same for like 4 miles, but it's really pretty. It's just like it's just the same, you know what I mean? It doesn't really change. But anyways, I am babbling, but that is the ghost story the legend of this place was at Yellow Springs campsite. So I'll let y'all know for sure if anything happens, any kind of like supernatural stuff. I'm not holding my breath that it's gonna, but you never know. You never know. Hey y'all, so I'm gonna end it for today. Let's see, today I started off at the William Penn shelter, which is around the 1,000-mile mark. And then I hiked 18 miles flat, 18.0 to this the haunted Yellow Springs campsite, which used to be the home of the Yellow Springs Village coal mining village. That's another thing I was thinking about. I was like, if this was a coal mining village, there's a lot of like tragedy and death involved with coal miners. So you'd think this place would be really, really haunted. But still nothing yet at all. Just seems pretty mellow to me. But anyways, I don't think you can see, it's dulling out now, but a little earlier the sky was just like bright blue and bright pink, and it just looked like cotton candy up in the sky. I mean, it was so beautiful, but now it's kind of dulling out. Man, it was so pretty. So anyways, today was awesome. It was chilly but super, super sunny, and the trail was, pretty, it was kind of like the same, very woodsy, the green tunnel, even though the colors are coming through and stuff. But for the most part, it was just like, nothing popping or nothing. But that's not being negative. I'm just saying. That's just how it was today. But 18 miles, I feel good. I wanted to do that 21.4, didn't happen. So my knee is, I don't know what's up with it. It's done this. That's my trouble knee. And when I came out here, it's my biggest fear is my knees. My knees are my weak part. But wearing those braces all the time isn't good for your knees either. Your knees get really dependent on it. And so, I don't know. I'll probably wear it tomorrow. I'm hoping I wake up and it feels better. So many times it hasn't lasted too long at all on this hike. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm hoping that I'll wake up tomorrow feeling fine. It's crazy. Sometimes it does. All your body needs is like a deep sleep and it just heals itself. It's amazing. But anyways, yeah, man, awesome day. I am babbling. I'm going to end it, and I will talk with y'all in the morning. All right.